Walking and the right to roam in Britain could be under threat. With a budget deficit of £23 billion, funds for English footpaths might be ditched. Ramblers are claiming one of Britain's oldest and most popular pastimes is under threat. With the Departments of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs and Communities and Local Government facing proportionately the highest cuts, footpaths are among the hardest hit. Ramblers are warning that this could close off the countryside to an entire generation. The councils marked in red have confirmed that they'll cut their transport budgets, which include funds for footpaths, whilst the councils in yellow are currently consulting. Bolton Council has proposed making their entire right-of-way team redundant, and Warwickshire's team has already been cut by 25% and could face a further 60% cut. Norfolk County Council has proposed footpath maintenance funds will be cut by 50% this year. All funding would cease by 2013. I went out with the Norfolk Rambling Group to find out how they feel about the cuts. How do you feel about the cuts to the Norfolk countryside, Sandra?
Well, I'm very concerned about, what could happen, the repercussions of the cutbacks could be, because the Ramblers Association have fought for years and years and years to get as many paths as they can open. Yeah. And then, this could all disappear in sort of 5-10 years or even less maybe, because if it doesn't get maintained, as some of the roads that we saw back there, people just won't stop. They'll stop going down them. Everything will get overgrown, and it'll close the countryside back up again.
This is an example of an unclassified road, which means it has no public funding. As you can see, it's completely flooded, and it's a real struggle to get through with all of the overgrown weeds. This shows just how bad the footpaths could become if the cuts go ahead. Alan Jones is the spokesman for the Norfolk Ramblers. He's urging the group's 2,000 members to sign a petition to present to the council. With Norfolk County Council facing a budget deficit of £155 million, our footpaths a luxury that we can't afford.
We're not complaining about taking a share of the cuts. We believe that 25%, maybe 30% reduction could be absorbed in some ways, and we could help out in other ways. But a 50% cut in one of the important parts of the budget is just unacceptable. We're going to find that the paths are not used. This is going to mean two things. Our healthy walking programmes all disappear, and our tourism and all of the businesses which rely on the footpaths are also going to be affected. So we're here on one of the most beautiful national trails, Peddar's Way, which is really important for the local economy. Businesses like this local pub rely heavily on walkers for their income.
As a small local pub, we rely heavily on the walking industry. Without it, we would see a very quiet winter and spring. We're right at the end of the Peddar's Way and the middle of the coastal path, and any cutbacks in those facilities would damage an awful lot of the trade locally.
Norfolk County Council declined to be interviewed, but they did send us this statement. The proposals for public rights of way need to be seen in the overall context of pressure on the council's budget. We have to find ways of dealing with a £155 million funding gap. We still have a duty to maintain public rights of way, but want to work with local councils to find new ways of keeping paths open. But it's not just walking in the countryside that could be affected. So I'm here in London, where 2011 is supposed to be the year of walking, a scheme to get more people in the capital travelling on foot. Following last year's much publicised year of cycling, the Mayor of London and TfL are hoping to see an extra 1 million journeys made by foot every day. However, budget cuts have threatened funding for the project. I've come on an evening walk with the Metropolitan Ramblers to see whether they think the project could be of any real benefit.
There's definitely not been enough investment in the year of walking, and if you ask me honestly, I'm not entirely sure how they define this as the year of walking. I mean, it's early days, but I haven't really seen anything to kickstart the year of walking.
So we were supposed to be meeting Spencer Clark, the senior officer in charge of walking at Transport for London, but he's just cancelled at the last minute, saying that he can't give us an interview. We did, however, manage to get a statement beforehand in which TfL say they are planning to raise the profile of ongoing walking activity and investment across London in 2011. Their plans include highlighting the breadth of existing investment into walking. However, Green Party representative Caroline Russell says she hasn't seen any evidence of new investment into the year of walking.
Obviously, at the moment, we're in a context of massive cuts and across the board in all areas of our lives, and transport is no exception to that. But actually, investment in walking represents incredibly good value. It's not that expensive.
Whether in the city or the countryside, cuts to footpaths could seriously damage people's chances of getting out and about on foot, despite the Coalition's promise to continue to support sustainable transport methods, including walking. 7 councils have already made cuts and 10 are consulting at the moment. Transportation budgets are out next month, but this issue affects more than just walkers. It's crucial for local businesses, public health and the environment.
Thank you.